Hey everyone, it's Ritika. Welcome to my travel channel. Right now I'm in Srinagar and I'm about to take a shikar ride across Dal Lake in Kashmir. So let's see if we can find someone who could take me across the lake. Bhaiya, chalna hai?
Chalo, madam.
What song were you humming back there?
It's called Hocus Pocus, a song composed by a famous Kashmiri mystic known as Laleshwari or Lal-Ded.
A mystic. Wow. Please tell me more about this Lal-Ded.
Well, to know more about Laleshwari, you have to know her Vaks. They are known as Lal Vaks.
A Vak is a compilation of rhymed or unrhymed 4-line stanzas consisting of 20 to 24 words. Lalla or Lal-Ded, as she is known, has composed over 280 Vaks in Kashmiri in praise of the Lord based on her experiences and her enlightenment.
You seem interested in Lal-Ded. Let me give you this book about Lal-Ded and her Vaks.
Thank you.
Panai asak, the panai kasak. Panas nish, labak sadur. Zindai marak, the marit labak. Adadeshak, shiv sundmok.
This is one of the many spiritual devotional Vaks of Lal-Ded.
This Vak specifically translates to every individual has a potential, a divine instinct in him, which enables him to attain a spiritual perfection. As such, unheard becomes heard and unknown becomes known.
What led Lal-Ded to seek spirituality?
Lal-Ded was born in Pandritan, Kashmir.
Near southeast Srinagar, to a Kashmiri Pandit family in the early 14th century. She married at the age of 12, but at the age of 25, she abandoned her life of being a householder and became a disciple of the Shaivat Guru Siddha Srikanta.
Lal-Ded was a spiritual seeker.
Spirituality is recognizing that there is a higher force or power than you in this cosmos. The purpose of our life is to recognize the divinity in our nature and lead a life of greater morals, enabling us to rise as a human being to ultimately merge with a superior power.
Akhui omkar, yasnabi dare. Kumbhai brahmandas, sumgare. Aksui mantar, chatas kare. Tas saas mantar, kya kare.
This Vak demonstrates that the breath that we take in from below the navel resonates with the sound Om. It helps to build a bridge between him and the cosmic consciousness. There is no need for 1,000 other mantras because this Om is sufficient enough.
This is such a wonderful Vak for people like me in this day and age. We can recite Om to get close to God. Didn't Lala bring spirituality to the common man through her Vaks?
Yes. Her Vaks were passed down generation to generation orally. Her Vaks were not written down until the 18th century.
Many of Lal-Ded's Vaks also embodied the obstacles that she had to face as a person. For a period of her life, Lal-Ded was tormented, tortured, and mistreated by her in-laws and husband. Lala was often starved and hungry as her mother-in-law underfed her. It would seem that she was fed a lot, but her mother-in-law always put a white stone in her plate to make it seem that there was more rice. One of the neighbors congratulated her about a grand non-vegetarian feast thrown by her father-in-law on entering a new house.
She replied, Hun maitin tekya, nosh nel wat chalin za.
Meaning, her family could sacrifice a sheep, but they would never take the white stones out of her life. She never revealed about her torturous life to anyone, but remained patient.
Naragatsi sahun, ta aragatsi galun. Odargatsi kadun, vapul hakas ta hande. Hadagatsi ratun, ta madgatsi valun. Vegatsi chalun, ad achak grande. Shub gatsi kache, lub gatsi marun. Pan gatsi navun, ami sinde.
Lal-Ded is regarded as the teacher of morals.
She had a firm belief in the higher values of life and was conscious that her teachings expressed the will of the Lord. Laleshwari preached that one should be calm and composed in the face of the strongest provocation of anger. She also said that one should rid oneself of unnatural attachments and sympathy for worldly sufferings, which are the result of past karma. All worldly desires and sensual pleasures should be kept under control and all kinds of ego shunned. One can reach a higher stage of realization only when one is able to display extreme patience in controlling the baser elements of human life. Laleshwari says one should thus be able to take a deep dig in the egoless and selfless clean waters of the ocean of divinity and reach higher stages of realization.
This vak can be relevant to the daily lives of many people, including me.
It advocates for being able to have mental peace even during times of stress and tension. This book mentions that Lal-Ded used to face the anger of her husband. For example, she used to visit the nearby river each morning to fetch the household's water. However, Lala would cross the river secretly, possibly by ferry or walking on the water, to worship Natakesava Bhairava, a form of Shiva, in his temple situated on the far bank. Her mother-in-law noticed her long absences and suspected her of infidelity. Laleshwari's husband became consumed by his mother's suspicion, and one day when Lala entered the house with a pot of water on her head, he struck it with his staff in a fit of violent jealousy. The earthenware jug shattered, but the water remained frozen in place atop her head, until Lala had poured it into the household containers. A little leftover water she tossed out the door, where it formed a miraculous lake known as Lalatrag. Hum karan, gondum tamorum, kesar van volum, chatit nar, yele homal, kam krud lub mo golum, tele homale, labum and merdan hal.
Lal-Ded tells us that sadhana or riyaz, or discipline, requires the most alert control of the nervous system, muscular coordination, or judgment, which will only occur once the control of mind is achieved.
This can further be achieved by killing the roots of sinful instincts such as lust, anger, conceit, and greed within. By observing the discipline of control of mind, your soul will be freed from the weight which keeps it down, and it will rise up to the top of the universe. This will enable you to reach the abode of His lively presence and realize the present with the vision of His magnificent grace.
This vak is relevant to us as we strive to practice discipline and limit distractions in any aspect of our lives. It allows us to maximize our true potential to live on earth and to find a purpose in our lives.
Kayas balsui, mayas zagun, pranas balsui, shabd swaroop, ayas balsui, tat vidhi zanun, yanas balsui, ad antatani.
Lal-Ded tells us that the human body is a great wonder
And is a complete structure of 4 personalities: the physical, the emotional, the intellectual, and the spiritual. One develops individuality by seeking the love of the Lord through emotional and intellectual structures. These eventually result in developing the spiritual consciousness of higher order, the physical body acquired for strength, and the feet to get closer to the Lord's grace. Showering the Lord with devotion is one of the chief aspects required to attain the bliss of higher order. Further, Lal-Ded says that by concentrating and listening to the sounds produced in the nostrils during process of exhaling and inhaling, the sounds of su and hum are produced. Lal-Ded calls it Shwabd Swarup, or the embodiment of the sacred character Om. The seeker is required to tune and tone these sounds with the waveform of the essential wavelength. There must be supreme effort, an act of personal resolution by which punya, a merit, can be achieved. It is by the constant repetition of virtuous acts that one becomes virtuous. This practice transforms the soul, providing it with a source of energy to make the soul rise higher.
There is an ocean of knowledge from Lala. Once Lala's reputation spread, based on a series of miracles she performed, people began to seek her out for assistance or to simply take darshan. The last known sighting of Lal-Ded was when she was around the age of 50. She was reciting some verses and a crowd gathered. After finishing, she climbed into a large earthen pot and pulled another huge pot over her head. When she did not re-emerge, the spectators separated the two containers. She vanished.
While Lal-Ded may come off as just an extraordinary being, her story can be portrayed as a liberation of the soul. Her spiritual anguish, intense quest for Lord Shiva, soul-elevating vox, defiant spirit, and revolutionary personality is what defined Lal-Ded.
Chalo, hum pahunch gaye. We had a beautiful shikar ride today, and I really enjoyed our conversation about Lal-Ded. Namaskar. Thank you for watching our presentation today.
We will leave you with a song that Lal-Ded herself has composed, Hocus Pocus.
Hocus pocus telvan sukkus sonam battukulodum dek swasa kich kich vangano Brahmanzar and point chokam tikkis tekka banne kyo.